Welcome to Sales Simplified, and today I'd like to show you how to use custom lists to reduce the amount of data entry you have to do. Let's go ahead and go over the standard lists that Excel has already built in for us though. First off, in column A we have the month of January. If we select that cell that January is in, move the mouse over the lower right hand corner until it turns into a crosshair, and then click with the left mouse button. Much like a formula, we can drag it down or auto increment it. And so we can see here as we drag down, Excel is showing us in this little pop-up window the value that we are creating as we drag down our list. So now we've managed to create the entire year of months, but only typing one of them in. This also works with days of the week. It also works with numbers, but you usually have to have a series in order for Excel to say it understands and it will guess what the next number is. So for instance here we only have one, and so if we try to drag that down we just wind up with a list of ones, which is not helpful. So we'll undo that with a Control-Z, and we'll go ahead and type 2 underneath 1. So now we can select 1 and 2, move our mouse over the lower right hand corner, click with the left mouse button and drag. And I'm sorry for the repetition, but it does help a lot of people learn. But there we can see we've created our list of numbers. It also works with dates. But let's say I work at a company and I have a list of divisions that I wind up typing or copying and pasting from somewhere else a lot, because it goes on a lot of the reporting that I perform, or that I create anyway. I don't perform reporting. The list of divisions or regions go on a lot of reporting that I have to create, and so I wind up typing them in over and over and over again. So right now, if I select the word north and move the mouse over the lower right hand corner, click and drag with the left mouse button, I just get the word north over and over again. But I can create a custom list so that Excel will know what comes next. So some companies have a really complicated structure, and maybe you have 6, 10, 15 different divisions. In this case, we're going to go with north, south, east, and west. So to create our custom list, let's go to the File tab. Let's go to Options. Go to the Advanced section. And now we're going to scroll 3/4 of the way down to the General area. So under the General area, we have the Edit Custom Lists option. So we can see here there are some custom lists that are already built in that Excel is showing us, but they're grayed out because we're not allowed to change those. So now we can also click on New List and type in our list of options that we want. And in this case we're going to type north, south, east, and west, but we're going to put a comma and a space in between each of them. Now we'll click Add. And you can see Excel has reformatted our list, and it's also added it to the custom list section to the left. So now let's click OK, and click OK again. So now when we try to drag down our divisions, we can see, and actually that is one pitfall of lists. When it gets to the end of the list, it just starts over again. I say it's a pitfall. Sometimes it works out great, and sometimes it's not quite right. So here we'll go ahead and delete this last north, but now again this is more helpful with a longer list when we have say 6, 10, 15 divisions. But again, it's helpful and it's less data entry to do in the long term. Let's say we also have a scenario where we have a specific way we're supposed to format years and quarters that Excel doesn't quite grasp. And so here we have YR capitalized, a space, and then the year in 4 digits, space, and then capital Q and the quarter that we're referring to, in this case Q1. So right now if we try to drag this down, you can see we're fine for Q2, Q3, Q4 of 2018, but then when we get to what should be 2019, you can see we're in Q5 of 2018. So let's go ahead and drag back up, which will basically get rid of what we were trying to do there, dragging down. So if you start to drag down and you realize, hey, I don't want to do that, you can always just drag right back up and let go of the left mouse button. But let's go over here to File and Options, Advanced, and scroll 3/4 of the way down. Under the General section, we're going to create Edit Custom Lists. Instead of typing all of these quarters in, because that's a much longer list with a lot greater chance of data entry error, because I am not good at typing. There you go. So we're going to import the list from cells because we already have a few places where we have this list of information at. So let's click this button right here to minimize the window. And I've already copied the list of years and quarters onto sheet 2. So I'm going to come over here and select it. Then I'm going to open up our window again. I'm going to import this list. So you can see Excel has formatted it in our list entry areas and also added it to our custom lists section. So now we're going to click OK and click OK again. I always forget the second OK. So now we're going to try to drag down again, and you can see that we are able to drag this out for the 5 years that we had listed on sheet 2. Now again, one of the downfalls here, or something to be careful of, is when you get to the end of your list of data and you drag past that, then you start over again. So with things like sequential numbers and dates, you're never really going to hit the end, but when you run into custom lists or things like days of the week or months of the year, Excel will just start from the beginning of the list again. And so again, if you are constantly working on 5-year projections, then you probably want to go ahead and build out your list a little bit into the future, like maybe say 6, 7, 8 years. That way you aren't automatically hitting a wall when you roll over to the next quarter and you don't have that value in your list. So that's something to be careful of. But I hope you'll subscribe, comment below if you have any additional topics that you'd like to discuss, and I'll see you later.